Captain Yorkshire, defender of rust from disasters. Now in the previous video, we cut all of this bottom section out because it was just all corroded and all rusty. We even made a little shield out of it and a sword. Now, in this video, we've got a little bit of news. Now, because all of this rear section has now disappeared, we did think about getting rid of the spare wheel well and doing a flat floor pan from one side to the other. And then that got us thinking, right, this looks stupid and ridiculous, so we're going to put one on the front as well. Big fat wing spoiler situation. Now with all that being said, I'm going to go home and cry.
Let us know in the comments below.
Let us know in the comments below, how pissed off are you, like I am. So because this Disaster Datsun is not actually my car, it's my dad's car, and I mentioned a slight modification to him, and he decided to mention some other very slight modifications. Now, Dad, come over here, don't be scared. Go on, Captain Yorkshire's got you covered. Now, just quickly explain to us what your thoughts were.
Right, so these are my thoughts. Because the boot is now going to be a flat floor, and the flat floor kind of lines up with this. So that got me thinking. I thought, why don't we bring the boot floor out to here? And then I thought to myself, why do we leave it there? Why don't we just take this section out? We can see the tyre. And then I thought to myself, we'll put a little bit bigger arch on there. And then I thought to myself, why?
A bigger arch?
Yeah, massive one.
I've welded these arches on.
It's a bit of practice. And then I thought I can bring massive arches out here, and then we can have a bare wheel, so we can bring all this section around here, bring the back of this out here, do this as an undercut, and totally get rid of this. But make this as a diffuser, go round to the bottom of the car, put a tiny fin, and then I thought to myself, bring it out.
Right, so now that's that situation sorted. What he's telling you is he wants me to cut these lovingly placed on arches back off the car, as well as cut all of this situation and all of this out. Right, so as you can see, this car is an absolute disaster. If you've not watched the entire series, go back, I'll link it in the description of the entire series. Watch it all in one sitting. No, don't do that. Now, this is a disaster. I mentioned a potential modification down here. Now, it kind of makes sense because we don't need the spare wheel well. We can put a spare wheel in here or bolt it to the bottom if we do need to. Now, with this rear section here, we obviously cut this section out and we expose these chassis rails. Now, these are not in the best condition, so we do actually need to remake these as well. So what we can do is we can chop there, and extend the chassis rails out with a box section and just make them flat. So there's no point in having this curve in because we're not really going to retain these sections here, because also these are all gone as well. Now, putting a flat floor pan in, we can cut these off, extend them, flat floor pan out to this back section here, and then that then comes to the arches, which my dad's going to explain.
Yeah, the arches.
Can I just mention that I lovingly welded these arches on?
You can lovingly unweld them as well.
The first arches I ever welded on a car is the Disaster Datsun Z.
And these are the first good arches that he's going to take off of the Disaster Datsun Z as well. Right, so the boot. Flat pan, straight across here. Now it kind of marries up with this line, not too much, but kind of. But it gave us the idea that why don't we just make, this was Ryan's idea, fantastic idea as well. This section here, just bring it round into one big light pod. That's where it kind of went wrong, because I thought from there we could take this whole quarter off and do it like we do undercut arches on the MX-5. That had exposed the tyre. Now, if you did that with standard arches, it kind of looks okay, but a little bit too subtle. So I thought we'll put some big fat arches on it, so we're going to put some big fat arches on it. The problem with big fat arches is they're going to stick out here, and we're going to lose a line. So we're going to take all this, we're going to bring it out to the arches, we're going to bring it all back, and we're going to extend this so it comes right out. It disappears. This floor, we're going to take it back out, but we're going to make it into a diffuser. So it's going to come all the way down here. It's going to be boxed in, no back on it. It's just going to be a diffuser, and the bottom of it is going to come out here, and it's going to have a small diffuser on the side in a triangle shape in line with this side. That'll expose all the wheel, and then from here Ryan had the fantastic idea again to put some fins up the back of it, just make it totally unique. Right, so the most important thing in my eyes is this line. To keep the characteristics of the Datsun 260, we need to keep its shape. We need to build that shape into our modifications so it's still recognizable as a Datsun 260Z. Now, the arches, we need to follow this down, and the arches, we probably need, not going silly, we probably need to be somewhere around about maybe 1 inch or 2 inches out.
I found these.
That's a little bit too wide.
That's too wide.
That's huge.
Is that too wide?
Holy cow, have you seen this?
Is that too wide?
Have a look at this. Just have a look at that.
Oh,
that is way more than 2 inches.
Who said 2 inches?
No.
Right, let's just set a wheel up real quick. Oh, look at that, perfect. Right, honest onions only. What is it? Does it look too? Is that too much?
I think for me, this is absolutely perfect, but we still do have to retain this line for its identity.
Right, this looks stupid and ridiculous, so we're going to put one on the front as well. See how it looks.
Oh yeah.
Right, so that's both the front and the back on. Now, let us know in the comment section below, does this look absolutely ridiculous to the point where it shouldn't be done? Or does it look absolutely ridiculous, Disaster Datsun style, in the fact that it should be done? Let us know in the comments, because these are not actually for this car. These are for a completely different make of car, never mind model, and they somehow fit perfectly. I don't know how, but
Profile and everything's right.
they fit perfectly.
I'm just having a thought, you know, what we've got is we've got a big step here, and it looks brilliant. It does, it looks like a big fat arch. But on the top of my head, I can see a side step coming out from this arch, flat, all the way across
Wait,
to meet this one.
Can I just, no, hold on. I've repaired this lovingly.
Yeah, that's
and all.
all.
So you're telling me all of this section here, this marries up perfectly. All this, and all of this section, you're telling me that that needs to...
I've just had a thought, why don't we flatten this off? And why don't we flatten the door off and have a side step? Let us know in the comments below, side step or not, flatten the doors off or not.
Let us know in the comments below, how pissed off are you, like I am.
Right, obviously this bit's supposed to be underneath the car, you don't see that. But if we made one this wide to marry up with this, and then continue to the front there, I think that would look awesome, and it'd tie the back end in with the front end as well. it was, I'm pointing the finger now, it was originally your idea to do this right from the start.
So in the previous workshop, when we started on the Disaster Datsun, which wasn't a disaster back then because we didn't realise how bad it was, I actually thought about putting some wider arches on. And because it's not my car, my dad didn't want to put wider arches on. He said, keep it stock, which was fine, fair enough. And then obviously we've got a 280 ZX, which we're going to highly modify. Obviously, a couple of years later, we're still doing this project because of how much of a disaster it is. But now that I've lovingly put 2 arches on, and I've made this back section, and I've made this section here, and I've made that section, I've made all this section here that's now in the trash, he's wanting me to now change it.
But let me just, on a defensive note, let me just say, that arch, lap welded, it was good. It's all right, that was his first arch. This arch, butt welded, even better. Now, he's going to put on some awesome. So the practice is absolutely superb. He's going to put better arches on.
Yeah, so the first one I did, first ever arch I did was lap welded. The second ever arch I did was butt welded. It turned out really nicely. I was stupidly happy with it.
And third ones are going to be big fat flares.
Yes, big fat flares. And we're highly going to modify this. So yeah, what we're going to do now is, for my sanity, is I'm going to start cleaning up this chassis rail here so it looks a little bit nicer for you guys. And then I'm going to start taking this edge off all the way around here, just so we've got something nice to look at. And then we're going to try a big cardboard template in here and just see how this flat floor pan is going to sit and how good it looks. Right, I don't know if we've made a huge mistake or if this is actually going to be pretty epic. Leave your comments and your thoughts down below. Literally, there is no turning back now. So I've cut this side, this section, cut these chassis rails off, and it's all in a big pile over there, a disastrous pile over there. Right, so this back section is big enough to swing a cat in. Now, it definitely looks real fat, real juicy. I mean, just if you cast your eye down here, you can see how fat this back section is going to be. And this is also going to continue down to here and make it extra fat. So I've cleaned these edges up and we're going to get a big template and put it in place, scribe around, cut it out, bash it in place, tape it all up, and then we'll be able to see what it looks like with a flat floor. Oh, look at that. It's spot on, look. Right, so I've mocked this up and this is kind of what it's going to look like. Now, you can see all the way underneath here, but eventually when we do put this on, you're not going to be able to see that because that's going to be boxed up. Now we've got this fin on the side and we've got these couple of fins down here. That's just to sort of like see what it's going to look like. So this arch is going to continue all the way to the back and we're going to flare this back section out here as well. Also, we're going to continue this all the way around. It's going to be out here. So I'm going to continue that all the way down to the other side. So it's going to be one big light pod. We've got a good idea for what we're going to do with that as well. Now, exhaust wise, we could have the exhaust coming out this side. We could have side ports. We could have it on the bottom. We could have it above the diffuser. We're yet to get to that. But one thing we do want to mention is this wing. Now this rear spoiler is the original one. Now, because we've got all this situation going on down here, we want to bring a bit of a situation up here as well. So we're thinking about starting the rear spoiler or wing, whichever one we go for, back here, and obviously we can sweep it up, and we can obviously sweep it across here as well, so it matches that bottom section on both sides. Big fat wing spoiler situation. Now with all that being said, I'm going to go home and cry because we've had to cut most of the things out and we're not using half the panels that I've fabricated up for this car anymore. But do leave your thoughts and your comments down below on what you think about this. There is going to be some people that don't like it, but unfortunately it's my dad's car who's behind the camera smiling his head off, and he's the one that is sort of directing this project, so to speak. I do want to mention again, Dad, that I did tell you about this 2 years ago, and you said no, keep it standard. But with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.